Cool. So we're recording rock and roll. So guys, as you know, this is the week one of Money Mindset. We do want to do a 4-week course through here. Sorry, the time's been a bit all scattered because it's been a bit crazy with everything going on, but we're here, we're rock and rolling. So for you guys who are fresh or maybe watching this is sort of a program that I've put together with me and Jacko just to kind of explain a little bit more about, your own money mindset, what sort of, what mindset you're in, your environment. As you can see on the banner, limiting belief, perspective shift, overview of alternate investment methods, and just life hacks, self-worth, opportunities, collaboration, and mentorship. So for week one, I really wanted to just divulge into that intention, mindset, and environment, right? Because that's such a big part. I like to look at it as if you don't know your intention and you don't have the right mindset, in the right environment, it's kind of like driving a car, right? I'd look at it and go, if you're driving a car and where you want to get to is Sydney, although you don't even know why you're driving to Sydney, or you don't know what's at Sydney, or you've got no idea why you're even going there, then your intention isn't going to be congruent, and you're probably not going to be as determined to actually get to Sydney because you've got no intention to be there, right? And if your mindset is not in the right, not in the right space when you are heading to Sydney, who knows? Something will come up, you'll deviate, you'll go off, someone could just say something, you could see a car go past, and it spurs all kinds of emotions. So really, when we are talking about money and we are trying to go out there and create wealth, we really want to know what our intention behind that wealth is, right? It's not just the money that we're looking for, it's what the money is actually going to bring to you. So if you are looking to get into, network marketing, or you are looking to go into this, you really need to get clear on as to what is the exact reason you're wanting to build this business, right? Is it to go out there and give more to charity? Is it to go out there and buy the new Merc? Is it to just to be able to travel around the world and play sports with kids that are less fortunate because you absolutely love sport, right? Is it to raise a family? Is it to retire your mum? You need to be so super clear on your intention as to why you're doing this. Because if you don't know why you're trying to create this income, you're just going to be wasting your time, right? So that's really certain. And mindset, right? You got to be in that right mindset. There's no point trying to go out there and create a dynasty if your mindset isn't right. Like if you only think you're worth $50,000 a year, how do you believe? What's the universe going to do? How is the universe going to reward you with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds millions of dollars per year if that's what you're working towards? If your mindset only allows you to really believe you're only worth $50,000 per year, right? So we want to work on your mindset around that. And then your environment, right? Environment's huge. I'm the biggest believer in environment. Environment is stronger than willpower. That's something that's really stuck with me since I really started making money. And it always comes down to, if you can be conscious of who you surround yourself with. I always try, like as much as I can, I'm always trying to be the poorest person in the room or the dumbest person in the room, right? Because if I know I'm the poorest person in the room, I know I'm surrounding myself with people up here. If I'm here and I'm the poorest in the room, I know these guys are up here, right? And the only way to do that, the only way to really move forward is to be able to do that. So I'd love for, everyone on this call to really, maybe have a look through the last 5 text messages you've sent out, or the last 5 phone calls you made, and think, are these people actually lifting me up and holding me to a higher standard, or are they actually bringing my energy down and, maybe encouraging me to do things that aren't really congruent with me and aren't actually getting me, aren't actually allowing me to drive my vehicle to where I want to go, right? So we're going to talk about that as well. Wicked. So guys, first one, for the love of money, right? This one, is huge. You honestly need to ask yourself where, for the love of money, for your love of money, like I sort of touched briefly just before, it's not the money, it's not the paper bill, right? It's not the credit card. It's what is that actually going to do for you, right? Because you could, if you need to, you need to know exactly what you want to do, because if you only want to do, if you only want to go out there and this is what's really cool, because like for me, I know I want to make millions, right? But for some people, they don't want to. They will be completely content in making that $150,000 per year, because that's all they really, that's all they want to do. And if that's all they want to do, that's completely cool, right? We can't push, we can allow them to dream larger. We can allow them to, explode their mind and think of all the possibilities or what they could do, right? If they could make them more money. But really, ultimately, it comes down to them as to what they really want to do with the money, right? So I'd encourage all you guys to really, dig deep, pick a number. What do you want to make this year? What is your number for 2018? Because how the hell can you possibly allow the universe or allow you to get the money that you want if you don't even know what money it is you want, right? So if you're currently making $60,000, maybe you should look at that and go, I'm going to aim for $200,000 this year. 2018, I'm going to aim for 200,000. And then we're going to work back, right? We're going to reverse engineer it. And that's going to come through probably the rest of the course and deciding on what you guys want to actually do moving forward with this is, okay, if 200,000 is your number and you're currently on 60, what do we need to do to get you to 200,000, right? What extra work do we need to do? What other implementations do we need to have? How many conversations do you need to do? How many, whatever. You're going to have all kinds of stuff going on. Hey, Connor, man, we're just running through this. So, Rach, what's up? We're recording, so I'm just going to keep, you guys missed like the first 5, but we'll keep on rock and rolling. So you guys need to get super, super clear on the amount of money you want to make, right? Really, really clear on that. Down, because what we're going to do is we're going to work back from that. It's like if you make $200,000 per year, what's that going to be per month, right? What's that going to be per month? And obviously knowing that you're gradually going to increase your money. So how much money do you need to make in the month of Feb? How much money do you need to make in the month of March? How much money April, right? And obviously it's going to increment, and it's going to go up. You need to be super, super clear on what exactly that number is, right? And then really digging a little bit deeper, it's to what are you going to do with that money? Who else are you going to help? Who else is going to impact, right? Fair enough, you want to go help this, but who, if you're in a family, right, and you've got a small family, your money isn't just going to ultimately impact you, right? It's going to impact your family. It's going to impact your networks and impact your surroundings. Hopefully, your networks, you're going to be able to raise your networks up with you. So really, for the love of money, it's not just the paper bill. It's what the money can do, right? And you need to know how much money you want. And then you really need to get clear on what you want to do with the money and who that money, who is going to be impacted by the money that you're going to be creating, right? So hopefully that's making a little bit of sense for you guys. So then we step into the belief around money, right? And this is killer. This is probably hands down the number one thing that stops so many people in actually, going out there and, and rock and rolling and making this money, right? Is their belief around money. They don't believe that they're valuable or they're allowed to make this type of money, and that may come from, preconceived families or this or that, or from what they've heard or whatever it may be. So really you need to get super, super clear on what does money mean to you, right? Is it negative? Is it positive? I'm a big believer that, good money just makes good people better, right? And money purely just makes bad people worse, right? It's as simple as that. If you're a good person and you've got more money, purely you can just do more good, right? If you're a bad person and you walk into more money, then you're just going to do more bad, right? Because that's your value system until that changes. So, also, with that belief around money, and that's what we sort of talk about, for the love of money, you need to get your love for money so clear, because if you don't have that love for money, how do you believe you can attract it, right? I'm sure we're all, I'm a massive, of intention, setting intention, scripting, doing all that. If you're not so, like, bring me as much money as I can, how can you expect to bring that into your life? So really, you need to, it's the same as like, you're not going to build muscles if you don't love the gym, right? You're not going to become a good cricketer if you don't love cricket, right? You're not going to become a good mother if you don't love your kids, right? So it's like, really, if you want to become great at anything, you need to become obsessed with it, right? Become obsessed with it. And really, becoming obsessed with money isn't a bad thing as long as you're going to do good with that money, right? And that's what, I hope we're all here for, is we want to give more. We want to earn more to give more, right? We want to earn more to give more. We want to go do more with charity. We want to help our family. We want to help our friends. And that's where it sort of goes back to that first one, is you need to get super clear on what you want to do with that money, right? I love talking about money. So getting real with your reality, right? Now, this is cool. And I've had so many conversations with people about this over the last. It's like, this is where you sort of get into, your self-worth. And for a lot of people, which is kind of crap, is they will be completely content in earning the amount of money they do, right? They'll be like, look, we're cool with earning, $100,000 into our household or $70,000 each. We're cool with that. Like, and that's just you just settling. Like, and that's where we sort of got to go back to. Like, if that's what you want and that's like your goal for some reason, and you don't want any more, then that's cool. But if you've got this, if you're just like, if you've got to be conscious, like, is that really my goal, or am I just settling because that's all I believe I'm worth and that's all I believe, I can actually achieve, right? And this is a real, you go real deep into, getting real with your reality and your own self, perception. But I always talk to people and they're like, look, it's okay. Like, the pain isn't, and like that great example for you, right? It's like, the pain isn't there enough. So I'm not really going to do too much, right? And then something comes along and punches you in the face and you're like, holy shit, right? Now I've got it, now I've really got to rock and roll because I've got no other choice. And, I think I don't know the exact statistic, but it's something like, like 71 or 80% of families or something couldn't survive more than 4 weeks if their income was to stop, right? So if their income was to stop, they wouldn't be able to, after 4 weeks, it's like fuel, food, rent, whatever, right? And that's just really where, all of us on this call and watching the recording need to be super, super clear and just get real with your reality. Like, what life do you want to live? Like, if you've got the Mercedes-Benz on your vision board, but on the vision board for your Mercedes-Benz, you've only got, a $30,000 Mercedes, then really you're just limiting yourself to like, you're just allowing yourself to believe that that's all you're worth, right? Why don't you have the $200,000, Mercedes on there? Why aren't your goals $250,000, $300,000 this year rather than $100,000, right? So you really just need to get clear with your reality. And I believe what will come from that is being, if you like, infatuated with like, everyone's different, right? But it's like, when it comes to money, like for me, when is enough? Like, when is enough? When is enough? Like, is there enough? I don't believe there is enough. You just need to be infatuated with, how do I get to that next step? How do I get more? How do I diversify? How do I, take it from, a $10,000 a month to a $50,000 a month? What have I got to do? Right? And you really just need to be so freaking motivated around that. And that comes from just being completely dissatisfied from where you are, right? People are more driven by fear than pleasure, right? So if you're sitting there and you're comfortable, there's no fear there, right? And the pleasure's there, but it's not enough for you to really go for it. So if you can get super clear on the fear, and the fear might be that, we're on here and all our friends start making all this ridiculous amount of money and we see them traveling all around the world and they're having all this fun, although we're still sitting here working a job, right? Or they're there, with the $200,000 cars cruising around because they're doing this thing online that's working really well for them, although we were just content in our $100,000 a year and we can't really live that lifestyle because we can't go splash $50,000 on a holiday, right? You just need to be completely dissatisfied with where you are and then really get clear on where the hell you want to go and how much you want to make. Because if you don't, what are the ramifications? What are the ramifications if you can't make that $300,000 per year? What sort of life are you going to live? And relax, what sort of lifestyle do you want to live? Like for me, it's all like, I'm always playing with my own head, but man, I'd love the helicopter. I want a helicopter on a big ass boat. I want a helicopter on the boat. I want to cruise around. I want to do that. I want to have fun, right? So you just need to get super clear on what exactly the lifestyle that you want to create and what you want to do. Wicked. Surroundings. So like I touched on earlier, you need to get clear on, when I'm hanging around more successful people, there's never an inch of jealousy, right? There's no jealousy there. There's no, it's easy for them because they done this, or it's easy for that, or whatever it may be. I'm just like, how the hell do I get to where they are? What the hell did they do? And what are they doing differently? Because we're all, right, we've all got the same resources. We've all got the same tools. We're all on planet Earth. We're all, really, but it's like, if someone's up here and I feel like I'm here, well, what the hell did they do to get up here? right? What have they done differently to what I've done, and why are they so far ahead of where I am, and how do I make that happen, right? So you really, I challenge you, because jealousy is a curse, right? Like that's brutal, right? If you're living into jealousy, or if you're living into blame, or if you're living into shame, how do you expect your frequency to be, through the roof and attract all this great energy if you're constantly walking around, it's easy for him, or this, that, or that, blah, blah, blah. We can't live in jealousy. You need to surround yourself with people that are gonna lift you up, and you need to look at them and go, wow, they're amazing, right? They're simple. They may be really simple, or they may be whatever, but it's like they're amazing because they've got what I want. And how the hell did they do it, right? It's not just like, shit, if they won the lotto, then great, right? That may be different, but they've obviously done something to work to where they are, and you just need to become infatuated with how the hell they got there, and then mimic that and get to if they've got what you want, you need to do what they've done, right? It's like, Elon Musk, right? I heard like Elon Musk, like when is Elon Musk going to be satisfied? Never. The guy's created like all this SpaceX, and he's doing this, and he's had all these amazing breakthroughs, and he's done the electric cars, and he just doesn't stop, right? He's like, even when he gets people living in frickin' Mars, he's still not going to stop, right? Because he's just so infatuated with just constantly evolving, changing, pushing that comfort zone, expanding, and just going for it. So I think that's really, really cool. Surroundings, going back to how were you raised around money? What are your beliefs around money? What were your parents' beliefs around money? Have a think back. Have a think back to, you as a childhood, or you coming up through your teens, or you, early adolescence, and how were you surrounded with money? I know for me, like I wasn't surrounded with a lot of money, right? But really for me, that just gave me the freaking drive to go out there and like make sure that I'm never in a position to worry about shit, right? And that, that was me reading property books, and me looking at shares, and me watching Renee Rifkin as a freaking 13-year-old learning about shares and how to make money, right? I was just infatuated by it. So really, you just need to be conscious of what is your surroundings. And if your parents maybe come from a low socioeconomic, really your value is probably similar to what theirs is, right? If they've only ever made $100,000 per year, you probably feel a little bit even inauthentic or weird if you start out earning them, right? Because you're gonna be like, well, what do they think? What do, blah, blah, blah. So you just need to, really have a look at your surroundings and just know that, yes, that's going to play a part, but it's not going to be, the be all and end all of what you're worth. Cool. Rock and roll. Next one, multiple streams of income. So like, I get it from people all the time, Rhys, should I chuck some money in shares? Should I chuck some money in crypto? Should I go, fucking go gamble some money or whatever? And I'm like, unless you've got the money to lose, don't do it, right? Unless you've got, like, guys, I've lost over 6 figures in the last month in this whole cryptocurrency game, right? So like, unless, and that, I guess it's lost of value, but really like I've still got the asset there. And as soon as the asset rises, like, so I'm completely cool with it, right? Like I know some people that are freaking out, going like insane, wanting to sell out everything. And they've just like wiped off, their whole freaking savings to go on the next family holiday. So really, like, you want to be, yes, you want multiple streams of income, but you need, like, you don't want to be investing that income or really getting, overcomplicated with things until you know that if you do happen to lose $100,000 or more in a portfolio, that really you're okay with that and you can still feed your family or feed yourself, right? So like and like if you're only right now and you're still only working and you're still only trading your time for money, I heard a famous quote. It was like, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you're dead, right? And that's really where this multiple streams of income comes from, is you don't want to only rely on that one working income. You don't want to have to be, really who want, like, this is another conversation. Who wants to be like told when they can live their life or when they can have holidays or when they can be sick or when they can, what their value on a, you're only, old Jimmy over there, he's been here 15 years and he's only on 90,000. You've only been here for 3. What, you want a pay rise? Like, of course we don't. We don't want to be told what we're worth. Like, we want to go make whatever you want to make, right? So just be conscious of, yes, look, work your job, and you probably have to work your job until you can finally make a few additional income streams that are going to be able to replace your job, and you're going to be able to go out there and then rely on the multiple income streams to get you away from your job. And, you know, if you've got a job here that's a stagnant income, it's a capped income, you can't get through it, and then you've got a residual income where you've got some other streams of income, what you want to do is you just want to eventually make sure those residual incomes, those multiple income streams, can outweigh your fixed income, and then you can move away from it. And as soon as you've freed up that 40 hours of your time, you can take these incomes and you can exploit them and go through the roof. So, Beck, it's probably a blessing that you've gotten rid of your full-time job. Now you can really go for it, right? You know, you've got this extra time. Now it's like, you know, you just need to rock and roll. You need to go for it because you need to, right? But at least for everyone on here, you know, Beck's been working her part-time business for what, 1 year, 2 years? Around there, right? So now she knows 1 year. So now she's got that foundation. She's got that stability. She knows she's lucky, or she's smart in the sense, I wouldn't say lucky, I'd say smart in the sense that she's built up a stability that now something comes smack her in the face, she can actually deal with it. But if you don't have anything that you've built up, or you've got no base, and then someone comes smacks you in the face, what the hell are you going to do? You're just going to sit there, be knocked out, and be like down for the count, right? So really, you know, kudos to you, Beck, for one. So multiple streams of income, right? Multiple streams of income. And then lastly, you know, to really finish it off is to be conscious on where you get your advice, right? Another famous quote that's really stuck with me is never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with, right? Like never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with. If you're getting advice from, you know, your accountant that is still working at the age of 60, like, fuck, I probably wouldn't be taking his advice, even though he's an accountant. Because what, like, credentials does he have, right? I know a lot of really successful people that are, you know, self-made. They've done shit around different ways, and they don't follow the traditional system, right? And there's always loopholes, and we'll talk about a bit of that stuff in the later weeks. But, you know, there is little loopholes that expose all types of things. And that the only way you can find out about that kind of stuff is being, you know, infatuated with how someone got to where they are and what the hell did they do, and then ask for their advice, ask for their guidance, ask for their knowledge. You're not always going to get it, but you can at least ask, right? What's the worst that can happen? So really it's just, you know, be conscious of where you are getting your advice from and take a real hard look at, you know, like I do it all the time. Like if someone like, cool, show me your property portfolio. You know, how many properties do you have? You know, if you're 50 years old and you've only got 5 properties, I'm like, well, fuck, I ain't going to take your advice because I'm already beating you. Like really, like what do you got to be conscious of where you take, you know, whose advice you take. And then, you know, on the back of that, I've got a quote here, you know, your brain is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Of course, you know, if they're where you want to be and they're saying some real funky, weird shit and your brain's not open, you're probably just going to dismiss it. But if they're where you want to be, you really need to take what they're saying with a pinch of salt and go do your own research, right? Maybe get 2 or 3 people, ask someone else you know that's successful if what they're saying is actually really, you know, what do they think about it? So obviously have an open brain, an open mind, but really seek advice from someone who's where you want to be. And then, you know, really just, it's just really getting clear on, you know, on what you would do with that money. I think it really all comes back down to your vision, your values, and what you really want to do. You know, like me coaching people in this space, and we'll talk about, you know, the skills, or what are the skills in this industry? What are the skills? What have I got to do? What have I got to say? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to, you know, post. I don't know. And really, you know, no matter how much knowledge I give that person, if their values aren't, you know, if they've got some mental blocks there and their values aren't congruent with where this is going to take them, in the back of their head, they're always going to be, you know, they're not going to go full hard of it. Like if you don't, you know, money isn't going to come to you if you don't believe you're worth the amount of money that's got to come, right? So if you've got all these mental blocks in your head and you're trying to work towards $300,000 per year, but your mental blocks are going, no, like, you know, in your head, you're like, I don't even know what to do with $300,000, right? It just feels bad. Like, what am I going to do? I feel horrible. Like, what about, you know, and if you're not welcoming that money, you're never going to fucking get there, right? It doesn't matter how much skills you got. You're not going to get there because you're just going to be self-damaging yourself. So you really need to rewrite your own story, rewrite your own script, rewrite your own beliefs, and really work on your own mindset as to, cool, if I want to make $300,000, what type of mindset do I need to have $300,000? And what the hell am I going to do with that $300,000? Who else is this $300,000 per year going to affect rather than just me? Because we all know psychology, people do more for others than they will for yourself. So if you're sitting there and you're playing the selfish game, you need to move out of that selfish game. And what the hell can I do with this extra money? Because if you get super clear on what you can do with the money and your vision and what your values and what you really want to do and who you're going to impact, you'll be able to move away all those limiting beliefs. You'll be able to push the send button. You'll be able to go for it. You'll be able to stay up that extra hour later, get up that extra hour earlier, and really just go for it because you know why you're working towards it. Cool. I think that's all. I really wanted to just run through that, guys, with you. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. And if you do, go back through it and really, guys, there's some really great podcasts out there. If you don't listen to podcasts and you're not listening to podcasts, there's some amazing podcasts out there. One that I've been listening to a lot is Chris Harder, right? And he does some amazing podcasts. It's all around money. It's all around mindset. It's all around money. Listen to his podcast. He's incredible, right? And then also you've got one other one which I love, which is Addicted to Success, right? Addicted to Success by Joel Brown. And he's there interviewing the likes of Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, all these amazing people. So, I would encourage you guys to have a listen to that as well and just fill your own cup up, especially before you go out there in the day and fill anyone else's cup up. Anyway, the next call is going to be whenever we post it in the group, and it'll be talking about the other things we've got on there. So I'm going to stop this recording. Hopefully this is valuable, and adios.